Slightly differently that time. You
I
don't
know, I
normally
wasn't-
say clap in three.
I wasn't-
And I almost
No, it
clapped
was-
when you said the word clap. It's like,
No, it's been too long.
Been too
It
long.
has been too long. We've got rusty. You know, it's been a month without a podcast.
Rusty spoon.
How's everyone been?
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, been some illnesses. I think a lot of people were ill over the Christmas period. All of our bodies are terrible at fighting diseases now because we were locked away for so long.
I'm exposed to diseases on a daily basis, so I managed to hold up for now. But I'm
Yeah,
waiting for it.
you must have the immune system of a minor deity.
It's coming. I can feel it. It's coming. As soon as I let my guard down.
Hamish is excited because his favorite American football team is doing well. Apparently,
No.
I wouldn't
No
say they're
spoilers.
doing well.
Well,
They're doing as well.
They
as
did better than my favorite American football team, that's for sure. But
oh man, I'm doing like. I apologize, YouTube. As you can see, I'm trying to adjust it while recording. We've been so long. I had it on the wrong scene.
oh
well.
no!
Yeah.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
Well, no,
you're
I had
pretty
it.
hot on it.
No, I know. I literally just to bore everyone a little bit. I made a scene for us, and then there's a scene for called "Interview Three Peeps," and then the last episode by just mucking up a little bit. I thought, well, where's our scene? So I jigged the "Interview Three Peeps" to have our last podcast on, and then I've just sorted our one out, and then for some reason I went back to "Interview Three Peeps." So, and then
We did a live episode last episode.
We
wasn't
did.
it?
That was great.
We like to do a live one now and then. This one is not live.
It was live, and it was pre-Christmas, and we did a giveaway, and one of our good friends, Chris Sweeney, won a package, a pre-Christmas package that he recently received with a map, a hat, and a couple of dice, and he's all kitted out.
Yeah, he's fully fledged, even though he's a patron as well. Actually,
he is a patron. Yeah,
I know. He could have brought in, but he got it all for free.
Yeah, he was.
There's a lesson to be learned.
I think he did it the right way, right?
Yeah,
Just get lucky.
he played it right. He played his cards.
We
right.
got to think of some new merch ideas. Like
we've
had
had
a bit of a request for a hoodie.
Yeah, hoodie is quite high up on the requests from the patrons. Obviously, we asked the patrons what they like to see. I think the top two options were hoodie and underwear. To be honest,
Yes, pants with Trip's face on. I think
my face. I'm not sure. I don't know if I want that to be in the world. But if that's what the people want, they're giving us the money, so that's what they get.
I would quite like. So
I would do a hoodie.
Yeah,
I think
a hoodie could work.
No, but I think they're over. I don't know. There's something about
everyone's
it.
got a lot of hoodies though. That's the problem.
We timed it wrong as well, because by the time we would get it made, it would probably be getting warm again, right? We'd want to time it for like the winter.
That's true.
So
I've got a bit of a thing to say here because so Andrew over at Dice Commando, who did a bit of a mini awards session over. So cool. Thank you for giving us the award for team with best chemistry or content creation with best chemistry. It was awesome to see.
That was very kind of you. I was sitting there going, "Geez, this guy doesn't know shit."
Well,
what goes on?
However, Dice Commando also do. He made up a load of like team shirts for Patreons and YouTube subscribers that bought in. So I'm throwing that out there. If we wanted to do like a push the point, like game day shirt type thing, like
that would be like a jersey.
No, yeah, like a sweat wicking type shirt that you could wear at tournaments.
Oh, like that one where we tried when we went to the first nationals, and there was that.
I still got mine.
Me and you, I was like, I ain't wearing a fucking.
I wore it. I liked it. I've worn it since. I might wear a push the point one.
No, I would. I definitely wear, but I just don't know about a team one. There's something.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like.
I feel. Do you know what? I've been going to just my local armories recently, and I've really appreciated the break from competitive flesh and blood over Christmas and after Worlds. But what I've really been enjoying doing is just going to my local armories, doing some drafting, some blitz, and every time I get my push the point mat and my push the point sleeves out, I feel a little buzz inside. I'm like,
the mat is so good. Like I love the mat so much.
I must admit, I haven't been using the mat recently because I've been on a bit of a hot streak with my Regicide mat.
Oh, but that's
Oh,
another
is
really
it? Is
good
it?
one because that's your world
Is it?
turner.
Is it like I know what you mean. When you get a mat and you've done some wins on it, you
Yeah, you
kind
don't want to
of
put it
you
down.
get a bit
Yeah.
you get a bit superstitious and be like, I think
Yeah.
this mat is a bit of luck behind it.
Mm.
Yeah, I had that. I
Yeah.
had the opposite problem with the Art Knight Ascendancy one,
Oh
where I
yeah,
was
you
losing
just could
games.
not win a game on
No,
it.
so I was like, this mat's cursed, but it's obviously not true because I
I used
took
to
it to
always use
Nats.
my exude confidence mat. That would be my go-to. That was always a lucky
Oh,
mat.
yeah.
That
Let's
is
bring
always a
that one
good
back
mat.
out again.
Well, I like to push.
Yeah.
I've literally now put all my mats aside and I just bang out
Just use
the.
the push the point mat.
Yeah, there's a little bit of me that makes me want to. I feel like I wanted to not have some with the squares on it as well because I've been
Yeah.
a bit naughty,
Oh, yeah.
lads. I haven't been playing Fab.
I haven't been playing.
No.
It's been
I've been playing
this is
something else.
What have you been playing? One Piece.
not Marvel Snap, is it?
No. Oh
He's
yeah,
been on One
I've
Piece.
been playing Marvel Snap like loads
Marvel
of
Snap's great, but
Yeah,
I
it
don't
is.
play it.
It's actually
No
actually
disrespect.
phenomenally very good. But in recently I've been and I will say I don't think the game is anything really to shout and scream about, but I've been playing One Piece with my friend Ben purely because it's been nice to catch up with my old friend.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we've been my friend Ben and my brother Ferg, we're like I've been jamming, meeting up, playing games since we're like 14, 15. So if they're saying they're into a game, I'm like, yeah, man,
Give it a go.
I'll give it a jack because I enjoy playing games. So, but we both go back in the car and go, this game's shit. But
Yeah, but it's bringing
fine,
you together with your friends, right? So
Sometimes it's not about the game, right? It's
No, it
about the
isn't.
people you're playing with.
So I bang out the push the point mat, and they're like, "Oh, cool mat. Where's that from?" I'm like, "Oh, it's from this much better card game called Flesh and Blood." But let's play One Piece. I think the card quality of One Piece is like really good. It's like because it's all
Is it?
Japan. Yeah, it's Japanese.
Oh,
So,
okay, yeah.
like the card quality, all the some of the art.
Well, they're using Oda's art, right? Oda's art's pretty great.
so
Is
they
it
turned
Yuzu's art?
Oda's art into like fables and legendaries.
Oh, right.
So
Well, it's still his character design, right? Like the character design
but it's
is
the
really
anime.
strong.
But sometimes they do this anime version, which
Bullshit.
is they're like the cheap, like you can get them,
Right.
and then when they go to but you can get the alternate artwork of this card,
Oh,
and
I
that's
see.
when
That's
Oda's
when you get the
art.
proper art.
Yeah, that's when you get the really cool art. But the
Oh,
rarity
okay.
behind it is like,
Are they like 100 quid a card sort of thing, or?
dude, it's a bit like Crucible of
Just-
War at the minute. You remember when
Yeah.
Crew
Oh, when it
first
first
aired?
came out, it was.
No one can buy a box of One Piece.
Yeah, okay.
It's
Just scarcity, isn't it? It will
so all
find
the
itself
cards.
out when the product gets over here, you know.
Yeah,
demand.
they're too much money, and my friend doesn't want to play the game. He just wants to collect it, and the
That's
only way he
fair.
can get the cards is to play it at Mana Screw because he's got loads of boxes, but he's not selling.
Oh.
But he's not selling them.
He's
can
just
only-
drafting them and.
Well, no, you can't. I don't think you can draft One Piece. You get two. He does a flat rate. You get 2 packs
Yeah.
per
Okay,
per
every
evening.
session.
So he's
Yeah.
like, oh, I've got to play the game to get the cards.
Okay. Well, that's cool though.
That sounds
Yeah,
fun,
no,
yeah.
it's Mana Screw, man. You know, Mark's a good lad. He sorts people out.
Totally,
Instead
yeah.
of playing a new game, I've actually gone old school and I've taken a shining to my original heroes. So I'm playing Ira and Katsu again.
Well, I tell you what, we're talking.
Back in the Ira
We're
days.
dipping.
gone into Flesh and Blood well
Yeah, no,
quickly.
we're sort of.
Should we do home news first?
Yeah, home
We
news.
kind of
So
touched on
I
home
wanted
news.
to talk about.
I've got some shit.
I brought something up briefly before the podcast, and Trip and I were discussing. If any of you have heard
Where
of
was
Flight Club,
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Flight Club.
so Flight Club.
you shouldn't
The
talk
way-
about Flight Club.
No,
Rule
you
one.
can-
I want to
talk
talk
about
about
Flight
Flight
Club.
Club.
What about Rule 2?
Yeah,
We could talk
you
about
should-
Flight Club.
Flight Club, not Fight Club. Flight Club. Anyway, so I was visiting some old uni friends in London between Christmas and New Year, and one of them, who lives in London, booked us an activity to do in the evening. So we've been out drinking all day, and then we went to Flight Club,
Uh
and he basically said, "Oh, it's
oh. Trip, you
Like, you
staring
just
at
play-
the camera.
you just play darts, right?" And I'm thinking, well, I can do that in most pubs, but it's not that interesting. However, they've really taken the level of darts activities to made it fun. Trip should agree.
Yeah, I do agree.
That's-
It's genuinely great.
That's
It's a
just
bit
fun
of a-
anyway.
It's a classic thing. If you live in London for enough time, you will get invited to a flight
Yeah.
club thing, and you'll probably be like exactly Simon's response, which is this just going to be a bit shit?
Well,
Like
no,
it'll
but
be
what
fun
is
because
I?
it's
I
one
don't
of us.
expect what flight
You
club
get
sounds to
it's
me
darts.
It's like
like a
it's
Fun.
like
it's like an air like people who are into aeroplanes that all meet up and
no,
Nah, nah,
like
nah, nah, nah.
it's like a
oh,
bowling alley for darts. So
That's
that's
exactly
all
what it
right.
is.
That sounds
But
like fun.
it's actually better than a bowling alley
it
because
is,
even if you don't like, because there's different games,
yeah.
like one which is like just traditional darts, the other one where you have to hit,
There's
you know,
killer, like
you do
horse,
like
right?
go around, you know, go 1 to 12, right? Like
Yeah.
in a
Yeah,
row.
yeah. Oh no, around
But
the world.
you often get put in a team with someone, which is also good because if you're shit, you might be with someone that's good,
Yeah.
and then you get to be part of a team. It's very
And then you
well
got like
done.
snakes and ladders and like little novel games.
But you
Like
know why it's fun, Simon? Because the worst part of darts
it
is
takes
the
all the maths out of
numbers.
it.
It's all
Yeah.
the maths you have to do to
So
work
all the
out how many points.
dartboards,
It does
Hamish,
that
are
all for
set
you.
up
Yeah.
so that they recognise where the darts have landed. So
All
they
right,
score
okay.
for you.
Oh, that's perfect. That's literally
Like
It just makes it
it makes it
easy.
so
I
easy.
know especially when you throw it on a triple 13, you're like the fuck is this?
39.
It's not,
What?
is there a
Yeah, but
13
take
in
that away
darts?
from
No,
501.
you
Oh
know,
yeah,
I
because
would have
it's
worked
20,
it
doesn't it?
out, but wait, don't now we found your second job, Simon, the guy that stands by looking at dartboards and doing the maths.
180.
180.
180.
But I was also saying the same thing about Flight Club is it's not shit. Like the
That's
interior of
good.
Quality, yeah.
is nice.
The
The
best
seats
thing
are
about
good.
it is because
The
it's
food
not
is good. The
shit.
drink's good. It's a little expensive to be honest, but it's
It
London,
is,
so
but
what would you expect?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a nice place to be in. It's not like some
yeah.
grotty place. It's a nice venue
Yeah, but
too. So
I'd
you
like a
actually it's
grotty
very
little
good.
place.
So I know what you mean. There's a
Wait,
time and a place for a dive bar, Hamish. But this
not when
was
you've
like
spent 30 quid a
Most to
head for
catch 'em.
darts or something or
this
whatever
was a
much
good
it is.
end to the night. And I say we've been drinking all day.
Day
Someone
drinking.
bought the Champions Cup cocktail
Excellent.
in Flight Club, which comes in a massive two-handed trophy that you have to give back or pay £100 for.
Double fister.
They take £100 deposit off your card unless you give it back.
Really? That's
Yeah.
actually fair. That's pretty legit.
Because
I've
Um,
had so many
everyone wants to
stolen.
nick it. Yeah. I mean, I'd nick it.
But
Uh,
it's
that's great. What a
been nice
fun
to have a
time
bit of
in
a break
London
from things.
town. It's the thing
It
about London,
was
lots of stuff to do, you know. It's expensive.
always something to do. Hamish, what was your story? What
Well,
was your killer story?
Yeah, what have you been up to? What's your home news,
I've
Hamish?
got a few things. My son has a 3D printer, which is this black box behind me.
Your
I've
son
seen some
has
of your
one.
things on Twitter.
Yeah,
You've been tweeting about it. I feel like you might have a bit of a 3D printer as well, though, right?
No. No, my son, I didn't buy it. My mum brought it for Logan, and I was extremely stressed out about it. Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, it just comes in a box. You got to build this fucking thing. I'm like, oh my god, I've got to build a 3D printer. But luckily, it comes in 9 steps. It's pretty IKEA, and it was like, oh, okay, no, this is easy. But still thinking I'm gonna fuck it up and break it. Well, anyway, so yeah, I printed this little.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's really good, mate.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, that's the bottom. Let's take it all
I
out.
wish I had a 3D printer.
I know, and in here,
We can push the point sleeves.
yeah. Just ignore
No.
that. I've got one piece, but it's because
It looks great. It's really cool.
yeah.
I think you can make loads of like miniatures and can it do like miniatures and
Well, okay,
things,
just
or is it not that sophisticated?
no. So
You found there was a guy on Facebook that had a Levia miniature, didn't he?
yeah, it
Made the
won't do
file
that.
for it.
No. So it won't do that. It's a very quick summary. There's different sort of like materials or that you can use to print. So this one uses a material called PLA, which is like a plastic, so pretty much a plastic filament. When kids can get these little 3D pens, and then you push filament in, and it heats up the plastic, and then you can make models. So this is exactly the same thing. It's just like a plastic. In short, I can do terrain, for example. If you wanted to make a sturdy piece of terrain, it would do
You just
that.
make layers.
Yeah, well, they all do layers, but there's resin. So resin is when it's a little bit thinner, a little bit finer, a little bit more fragile, but the detail pops out so much more.
Right.
So that Levia one would be a resin one because there's so much all her armor and all the little bits. It would do that really well. Whereas this PLA you could do it, but it would
It
just
just wouldn't look as good.
no, her
Just wouldn't look
face
very
would
good.
just be like, "Blah." You look like a, when people badly paint 40K models. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, just ignore, you don't need to paint it because it's just going to look like that. So, so if you want to do like this, a big sturdy box, it's not
You
the
do one with a push point logo on.
You can. So I'm working out how to get our push the point logo, and
That'd
then
be so good.
there's a program called Tinkercad where you get the shapes and stuff in it. It looks all 3D. So I'm trying to work out how to get our push the point logo, get it onto Tinkercad, and then you can make the push to point logo like a hole. So
Raised. Yeah.
you can have it raised. I can put it onto the shape and it will come out raised, or I can make it as a hole and I can put it into the shape and it will indent this, so we can have push the point indented into it. So you've got to,
That's pretty cool.
yeah. So it's like printing. Like, if you're going to do a Word document, you've got your Word document, you write out, and then the printer prints whatever you're doing. And this is almost like the Word document, but I've got to design the thing correctly. Then I
Yeah.
can take it to the printer and it will print whatever I've designed. So I've
Nice.
just got to get the design right. But I got when I tried it out, the fucking thing, like some of the shit I've made this push the point logo, it came out like, oh, here's 3D. And yeah, it's now like just looking like hills and shit. I'm like, oh my god, this is not what
Have you made a Minecraft version of the push to point logo?
That
I
could
do,
be
but I
cool.
could
We
do
should
that.
do that.
Like
Yeah.
just squares.
Oh no,
But the
there is.
logo, we were
Um,
talking about this, weren't we? About how the logo is so good.
It's
It
so
is good.
versatile.
I'll
It
tell you
really
what,
pops.
I've
Yeah.
been thinking about not redesigning, but I want another thing.
You want
Now,
another logo.
well, it was all inspired because my friend Alex, when he was coming up with some tattoo designs, he drew the amulet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he traced it, and it looked really fucking cool. He just did the trace of it, and I was like, I've never seen this thing traced. And then it just made me think, I wonder if like
We need more assets.
well, yeah, I was wondering if we can get something like
Art
that. So it's not just this beautiful art with all the colors. Because sometimes, if I could get Alex to just trace this thing and then it is just a black or white, I thought that would look really cool. Like on the back of the hoodie, you've just got that.
Or new hats.
Or new hats, yeah.
Oh.
But just having that big thing on the back and then the
Yeah.
push the point logo on the front.
That could be
Because I've
cool.
been looking at a couple of skate jumpers and tees. They've
Yeah.
big designs on the back and a small thing on the front is kind of
Like peaked apparel.
well, they're kind of in at the minute. So
They are, yeah, very much so.
yeah.
Anyway, Rick, what have you been up to apart from being sick?
Well, yeah, I was saying to the guys before we started, I was pretty ill over Christmas. I was ill on Christmas Day, which kind of sucked. But other than
Ooh.
that, I've not been playing a huge amount of Fab. I've been taking advantage of the lull because we were always saying that the Fab schedule was pretty hectic in 2022. So I thought, you know
Yeah, when
what?
it's in,
If
it's
we're having a down season, I'm not going to make the mistake I've made in the past, which was when there were sort of down seasons with like blitz skirmishes,
Yeah.
but I would still play all the blitz skirmishes. So I've taken a little bit of a break. I've cut down the number of pro quests I'm going to as well, just to recognize that I'm not going to be able to go to the pro tour
By cutting
in
them down, you mean you're only
America.
doing 4 instead of 8?
I'm now only doing 2. I'm only doing
Okay.
2. So
Yeah.
that's still probably as many as most people are doing. But the idea is to just kind of free up a bit more time, not do Fab every single weekend or every single week, which is so far has been pretty good. In terms of other stuff, I've been playing because I've been ill. I've been playing a lot of video games. I play a lot of video games anyway. Played through the Baldur's Gate 3 early access, which is really good.
Nice.
I would say now don't bother playing it because it's due to release in August, so you may as well wait until the full release now. But it's been
I mean, that's
really,
quite
really
a long
good.
way away still. Like,
It is still a long way away.
considering we are all 3 of us and our audience are probably all very poor at waiting for things to come out, like very impatient and keen to get games ASAP.
Well, it's an early access, and I've played over 70 hours of it, and it's absolutely incredible. It's basically in the entire. There's some differences, but it's the entire Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition rule set in a campaign.
Amazing.
So if you like if you like
Sweet.
D&D, it's really, really good. The voice acting is superb. So check it out. And I've been playing through the new Pokemon game, which is trash.
What, Violet and Scarlet?
Scarlet, yeah,
Are they actually new, or was it like what
it's
they
new.
did
It
with?
came out. It came out in December.
You know when they did the
Um,
Pikachu Go and the Eevee Go,
yeah,
and it was
this is a
just
new main series game.
so it's like a
This is
proper.
5th gen, I think, now, isn't it?
It's not. It's like 8th or 9th
Oh
or
damn, I'm
something
so behind.
crazy.
So
But
Hamish mentioning the Let's
it's
Go, we've just
great.
got Let's Go Eevee for my little girl on the
Yeah,
Switch
but
because
it's
we have a new
really
Switch for
fun.
Christmas.
Hey, welcome to the Switch Club.
And it's
Oh,
games, isn't it?
Say that again,
Okay,
Simon.
Simon, you went underwater for a second. You're not gonna repeat yourself.
No, all right. Well, the game. Well, I heard it was.
Well,
Just gonna
Simon said it was garbage. That's what I heard.
No, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
It's quite cool. It's very dumbed down though. Like
Yeah, that's
it's
what I
not,
mean. It's
not like a full game.
It's the Pokemon Red and Blue, but massively
But made into
simplified.
Pokemon Go, basically.
but the new games
Yeah.
are just they are fun. Like if you like Pokemon, they're great. If you don't play it because it's
Guys,
just badly made.
I'm really
Badly
sorry
made.
to interrupt. This is the first, and I apologize, all viewers. It's 20
You're
minutes
desperate for a
in.
beer.
Oh, it's 20 minutes in. We haven't
It's
got
always
a
20
beer.
minutes in.
Is it?
You haven't got a beer. Well,
Oh,
we
no.
don't. Last few episodes we've chatted for ages before we've had the beer.
Can we open a beer and then carry on?
You see what
Yeah,
the issue
okay, all
is?
right.
Is because normally I would stop us and say, "I'm desperate for a beer. Can
I
we
am
have the
down. I'm
beer?"
parched.
But I had a pre-podcast beer,
It's
so
cheating.
I'm easy breezy. But I'm willing to
He's
stop.
had a pre-pod pint.
Anyway, play
Pre-pod
Baldur's
pint.
Gate 3. Don't play Pokemon.
Okay. Well, I usually do. We do all this bit usually just to give us an introduction into who we are, but we've actually been doing that through what is your Christmas stuff. So, but beer time.
Oh
Right,
yeah,
Hamish, what are you drinking?
Christmas presents.
Well,
Sorry.
thank you, Simon.
Sorry,
So for Christmas, I've asked my brother. I don't know who. In other words, I don't know which one of the two who gave me this beer. Stepmom Gail or my brother Ferg. But I've asked them to buy me some beers for Christmas, for podcast beers, basically. I've got a Buttercomb, Underfall, triple filtered lager. Now I haven't seen this in Tesco's, so there you go.
What is that? What's it?
Buckham Brewery.
All right.
Yeah, it's a lager. I told them to find me some different lagers that you can't find in Tesco. There you go. That's what I've got. Simon, what are you drinking? Are you on call?
Not tonight. So
Hey,
I am still finishing the remnants of my advent calendar from Brewdog because I've been on call, I've been away with family, and now I'm back at work. So I have a Brewdog Almost Famous.
Almost.
Which is a 6.8% New England IPA. It's much like us, almost famous. Eh?
Almost is always.
Almost fab famous, maybe.
Almost fab famous.
Almost.
What
about you?
The wild card.
But the wild card. Oh, yeah, I haven't figured that in ages. What about you?
So my beer's not,
Blue.
My beer, firstly.
Yeah.
Oh dear.
It's a Beavertown.
Nice.
Beavertown Ginger Ray. Ginger APA.
Fantastic.
But the story is, I bought myself, much like Simon, a beer advent calendar. However, I bought 3 of them, and I bought them after Christmas.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. They all come down in price.
£60 recommended retail price for this Beavertown beer advent calendar.
Did you get it for 20?
£20. So I bought 3.
Oh, where did you get that?
Tottenham Hotspur website.
I might go and have a look at that. I love
it. Why is it on there?
72 cans of beer for £60.
That's pretty good, dude.
That's less than £1 a beer, and Beavertown is bloody expensive.
It is expensive.
And it's good.
How's the ginger APA?
So this one's it's a 5.4. It's delicious if you like ginger. If you don't bother. But I'm a big fan. But cheers, guys. It's also got a great can. It's all sparkly.
Well, Bristol tastes like a pond.
Hamish, is it cold enough?
Your butt come.
Probably not.
Okay.
You need to be. Does it need to be? Yeah, I did for 20 minutes.
Okay.
You always end up with a shit one. always you. So I don't
I
think
think there's a theme
I don't
there.
think I've ever had a beer I don't
No,
like, and I
because
think
you
Simon's never had a beer that he doesn't like. You always end up with something. I don't want to be dismissive because this was a present from someone, but
well, how do we just look? It's rolling the dice. I have lager or it's some fucking crazy shit that I
Deli
couldn't
rum.
find in my. Well, I've actually found out that I
Have you got some more deli
really
rum?
deli rum.
and you got more,
Nah, I didn't get any more. Didn't
but
get
you
any more
really like
deli
it.
rum.
We
I
should
do like
say
deli rum. Now,
it's
what I
just on
really
top.
do like is rum, specifically
Okay.
spice rum.
Yeah.
Specifically,
Kraken.
no, honey spice rum.
Ooh,
Oh, oh,
No, you're sounding
indeed.
too sweet to me now. I've
No,
got
no,
a sweet tooth, but I can't go too far with rum.
no. It's not that sweet.
Okay.
So this one's Keeper's honey spiced rum.
Okay.
I could drink that shit straight. That's
yeah.
how good it is. With some ginger beer in it. It
Okay.
is hang. Is that what they say?
Oh,
What has he just
that
done?
that was a mortal wound right there. Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
what? I don't know. I was gonna say that's. I don't know. Sounds like a right word to use.
Yeah,
Ah,
sure.
hang,
Should we
king.
talk about Fab? Because now it must be
Right.
like
What's
almost
wrong with
like
that? Okay, you're not allowed to say that.
Let's leave Hamish and his
no,
pen
you can
there.
say it. It just
Yeah, that's
sounds strange
fucking
coming out of
words.
your mouth.
Yeah, we should talk about Fab because we are, as we've said, we are coming back from a bit of a break into a
Yeah,
rapidly
that game.
approaching
I think it's
ProQuest
been
season.
good. I think
It has been great.
I really enjoyed how I really enjoyed having a break, and I'm really looking forward to start playing again. But I think it's been such a long run of tournaments, and we don't do ourselves any favors because we always try to play
Yeah.
as much as we can, and we all come from the time when we couldn't play Fab. We've talked about this before, but we were always a bit remembering when we weren't able to play the game in person, so we really came out of the gates pretty hard in 2022 and
Yeah.
just did as much as we could. And having a break has really just given me time to sort of think about like what I want to achieve, what I want to do.
Been
And I think it's been
delightful.
really good. Yeah. I imagine quite a few people are taking a break just naturally over Christmas as well. I'm sure it's not us.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think it's been good. I think it's been worrying because sometimes you can walk away from like, and this is from my experience from all the other games. You can walk away from something for so long that actually coming back to something, and sometimes feel a little bit like, well, I've been away from it so long. This is now my new normal. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
I
can
get
get
that.
into a new normal, and then you go, do you want to go back? And sometimes, unless you've got the drive to go back,
Yeah.
it can actually feel a little bit like, oh, it feels a bit chorey now. Like, not if I
After a bit
don't.
of a break, though, it has reminded me how much I love playing the game. Like the mechanics of the game are solid.
No, I haven't had the chance to play it because I don't have a. I struggle to meet up, as you know, with
Yeah.
locally to play it. But today I got the buzz back, and it's
Sweet.
conveniently come back today. Obviously, recording. But
It's
I
just playing
was.
this game it really invigorates your love of the game. And
It's
sometimes you're just like, why do I love this game so much when you haven't played for a bit? And then you
Mm.
sit down and you play a really good back and forth kind of game, and you're just like, damn, this game is really fun.
Well,
Yeah.
I never got to play. But I watch the AGE, the Arcane. It's basically some tournament that the West Coast in America are doing,
Mm.
where they're doing a
Oh yeah.
series, and then the winner will get a grand, and then after about 6 or 7 series, there'll be a final. I've Tarek and all that were. Well, I saw it from Tarek's tweet saying that this tournament's on and it's been really well covered. So I thought, okay, I'll go tune it on. I didn't have like, my motivation was pretty low, but I watched it and I was like, "Fuck, this game's sick."
Yeah.
I'm back. I was just literally just back in, just going, "Yeah, man. It was good. It's really good. I'm really." I got the energy to go on, and then I just
Nice.
immediately busted up Talishar and got my Bolton deck out.
And we've got we're going to see each other in about 2 weeks, aren't we, Hamish? You're coming up to
Now-
Nottingham for a ProQuest.
Yes, I've been chatting. Me and Mikey and Dimitri are going to come up, and I
Oh,
said
sweet.
to Mikey one of the things that I'm really excited about, like about this ProQuest season. And I know there's a bit of controversy about this season because we don't know what where the Pro Tour is, and some
We
people
know it's
go,
North America.
yeah,
We
we
know
know
it's
it's
in
that.
America.
But
Oh, well,
when
North
and
America,
where?
yeah.
When,
but
who,
that's not
what?
enough, is
It's
it,
not.
really?
No, not really. But I just said to him, the one thing I'm massively looking forward to is the fact that I am going to go to another town with a friend of mine, and we're going to have a
Yeah,
laugh. I'm going to meet up with
absolutely.
you, Simon, and we're just going to have a fucking giggle.
We're gonna have an absolute ball.
And that's what the game is. That's
And do
the
you know
whole
what? We'll
point.
probably end up playing each other for a winning in, and we've
And
split. We've gone 1-1 on winning in so far, I think.
Yeah.
And
Have we? We've met on the battlefield. Actually,
we have met a few times.
We've
yeah.
actually met more. Trip. Oh no, yeah, no.
I've never played Simon outside of online play.
Outside of
Since
TTS.
lockdown.
Trip.
Insane.
Trip is a fucking killer. Because when I was playing him, I was like, oh, we're gonna. And I just took one look at his face.
I was just on fire that particular day. I think you'd probably
Fuck
take
off!
me
I
down.
threw it. I threw our
exactly.
game.
It's my mental game, mate.
I did look at you, and I was like, "We're gonna have a
dead.
laugh," and you're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have a laugh, but I'm gonna
It's
fucking
because I
win."
let you off a mistake, and then from that point, you were just wrecked. You're destroyed. You're like, oh
Did
my
you
God.
let me
Couldn't
off a
handle
point?
the
Did you let me off?
responsibility.
Yeah, you did a
He
whatever
He let you have a
whatever
take
the
back.
icy arms are. You tried to freeze my arsenal, and I let you keep your icy arms, even though you used them when you couldn't break my thing.
Yeah, and then I fucked it up
Well,
again anyway.
Now I've got the karma on my side. This game's secured.
And that's how he does it. He does it.
Go that
That's
way,
how he
doesn't
does. He literally talks to you with his face. You've seen his face. Go back and look at his face when he says that. It's like, now that I've got your karma, I will win. And you're like, fucking hell, this guy's out to murder. He's not smiling.
no.
There's no joy. He's like, I will execute you. Silently.
Just occasionally have a good day. That's the way it goes sometimes.
I think
I love it. I was sitting there going, this guy's gonna. You got the fucking aura. Both of you do. Yeah. You both have the aura. I don't know what mine looks like. I actually am intrigued what I look like when I'm playing when you play up against. Have you ever thought about that?
I'd love more face cameras. You remember when we did Polish Nats and we had face cameras for the players? That was so good because you could actually see their like.
I think
I know what Simon does. He does this.
Yeah.
I look
continually perplexed on all my games. And Hamish, you carry your emotions on your sleeve, much as you do in the rest of your life. Yeah. When you are confident about your play, you're like, right, this, and this, done. And then when you're not, you like go into a little shell and you're like,
I genuinely think that
my shoulders slump. I think
they do.
I think people come from Talishar feeling super confident because they've gone on a mega winning streak on Talishar. They come into
and then you come back to in person,
and they forget that literally you can read your opponent's face.
Yeah,
and know what
Trip does. Trip holds his cards like this, and when he's not sure, he does this. He does a little neck crook to the left or something, and I'm like,
I actually put my cards down on the table on my playmat, and then I do the thing with my fingers where I go like, feeling confident.
Yeah.
It's just,
but you dead. Your face. I remember watching you play. You're like, you are fucking serious, and even though
I'm very serious.
You're like this, and then the neck crick.
And then
and then
oh,
what's that? What'd you do?
I did
all of his knuckles,
all my knuckles, and all my joints.
Yeah, and
like,
my favorite is Simon just doing this. And then when I don't know, when do you say good? No, when do you say good block? What is that? I remember when you say it's good block.
No, you'll have to figure it out for yourself again.
I always say good block when it was a really bad move.
Do you?
And I'm like, I'm so glad that they
good block.
You're like this. You attack when you're in the ninja days. You would attack and you go
from Ira days, right? Where you're bluffing Razor, and you would say, good block, because if you hadn't blocked that, I would have razed and killed you, and you never have it.
Such a shit.
Just a classic.
Parry, you're a shit.
We grew up on Ira.
Yeah, I played an Ira game recently where I bluffed a Razor and Arsenal for the entire game, and it was just a sigil. It was great. They just commit so many cards. And
I think the first time I have an in-person sort of Roar of the Tiger, Predatory Streak, Art of War turn with Katsu, I'm gonna look like the cat who got the cream. I've got to hide this. Like, I've got all the cards.
That's when you're gonna realize you don't have enough space on the table for these.
That's true.
Cards.
Yeah.
I actually feel I feel empathetic when I know I'm going to kick the shit out of the other person. I kind of look at them and go, I'm like, okay, and then I'm actually thinking, come on, man, let's get
to know you.
No, I'm like, come on, I really want your play to work. And I always do you can tell I'm on all doing all right when someone goes, oh, hang on, can I just take that back? And I just say, look, dude, let's just chill. Let's enjoy it.
You're like, dude,
because I know I've
I'm
won.
going to win anyway.
Yeah, I know I've won. I
really
just say,
game.
dude, let's just chill. Just play your turn properly. Because honestly, it doesn't fucking. I don't say it's, but in my head, it doesn't fucking matter what you do. I'm going to take it all because I'm going to absolutely ram all these carbs down your throat.
That's the thing, though. Is sometimes you make a mistake. You're losing. You make a mistake, and your opponent says you can take it back, and you're like, you only
double
say that
fuck.
because you know you've won the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You just want the good karma.
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
but I hate
so,
it when people don't. I hate it when you play someone and you know you're fucked. And then they're like, oh, no, tough shit. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Give it a break. I'm fucked anyway. Just
I don't know.
let me have something. And they're just out to break all of it.
You reach a point where you have to stop letting people take.
No,
Yeah,
I know, but sometimes
universal rule.
no, there is a
I've
rule.
been screwed before. I've been too nice in important games and I've paid for it.
No, when you be too nice when it's clutch, that's different. But being too strict when you've like I'm on 30 health and you're on 11. You've got one or two cards in hand, and they just go, "Oh, I didn't take my tunic," and you're like, "No, tough shit, mate." You're like, come on,
to read the game. Fans a game with small incremental advantage. You never know what your next hand's going to be.
What you got two cards in hand, 11 health. They're on 30, and you've got to tick your tunic. And they're like, "Oh, tough shit, judge."
They might draw like 3 Art Wars and a blue or something.
What? They've only got 2 cards.
Well, I mean, you never know.
I know. I'm just saying, like, it's a really bad spot. It's really bad.
Anyway,
it's an interesting question. I think proper play,
we did have a question, didn't we? From
having had a break, as Trip sort of mentioned earlier, I've had time to reflect a bit, and I've just been really enjoying playing at an armory level. I'm looking forward to seeing friends at the Battle Hardened in the coming week, and then the ProQuest the week after. And I think, again, like Trip was saying, not having fab events every weekend allows us to look at maybe other opportunities that might come up. So hopefully this year we can get on a bit of a casting, like a bit more casting on our resumes, and have a bit more time for.
I shouldn't. Yeah, I've now discovered I shouldn't leave the Discord area. Everyone's just seen me. I went to have a look at another chat and I forgot.
You just messed everything
up. Oh no!
The camera's got loads of text. Oh well, doesn't matter. It's a good job everyone's Spotify.
Just watch this one on.
It's episode 41. It's been too long, everyone. I forgot how to OBS.
I'd like to dedicate more time to push the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think that it may mean that we do a few less tournaments, but I think we'll try and do more content. Maybe not more content, but
you guys are gonna do more. Yeah.
Well,
this is gonna be
on the
more lore stuff for push the point.
Yeah. That'll be exciting. Don't promise something though.
Believe it or not, guys, that stuff does take quite a lot of time.
Come on, we're here to help. I could do some
on the
voices.
subject of more content. I'm hoping that a box of goodies should arrive at some point this week, which I'll do a little opening on YouTube
Exciting.
live.
I'm gonna line up some. I think we've had some feedback from patrons as well about interviews as well. I love just grabbing people and doing interviews. So I've definitely got some more. If Simon and Trip may do some more, but the one thing I'm planning on is just it's honoring some of the guests that I've chatted to over Worlds to bring on.
Nice.
So
you appeared on the White Rabbit channel recently, didn't you?
I did. That was I actually gave that a little watch because it's been so long. I was like, oh yeah, well,
what did I say?
Yeah, how dorky was I? Turns out
I'm sure you agree.
Very dorky.
Yeah.
Complete
dork.
That's why we love you though, dude.
Okay.
And we're not dorks, we're nerds. I don't
know. My son thinks I'm a dork.
I'd say I'm a geek more than a nerd, but
you're not a geek, you're a nerd. You're a doctor, you're a nerd.
So we got a question from one of the patrons. It's a bit of a big topic. I wonder if we can just sort of like summarize it in like 20
we can do a big topic.
Well,
before we move
can't
on
look.
to another topic.
Oh god! Before we go on to a topic.
No, I just want to.
Simon doing Simon. Come on.
All right,
jam it in.
So we've been talking about Fab ProQuest and Fab for the year, or what we can see so far up until Pro Tour 3. Sorry. How do people feel, just before we move on, that about the lack of organized play announcement for the year ahead?
Not good.
It's not good.
It's
I
not
don't
good. I
think
don't like it.
I don't think that's a controversial statement at all. I don't think LSS is probably very happy with it either.
Well, I mean, we
I
have had
No, I think that's fair.
an announcement saying that
No, that's not.
of the structure of the year, but they've not given any specifics.
It's a
this
fine
game
enough amount.
lives and dies on its competitive scene. I think that
Hmm.
these days there's not really, that some of the cards are holding a lot of their value. There's still a lot of investments going on. That's great, but there's no this game sells itself on it being a competitive rival to other trading card games. Like if you like competitive play, if you like
Mm,
tactical gameplay in your trading card game, this is the game for you. Like Hamish was talking about earlier, like the One Piece card game. A lot of people like that game, but it's not a very good game.
yeah,
No offense to all the One Piece stands, but like I think Fab
but they like
needs
it because of the IP, not
because you like
because of
the
the
IP and
game.
Yeah,
maybe it's easy, it's fun, and you can play it. It's a
it's
tabletop game,
it's
kind of.
it's a Bandai game. Digimon and Dragon Ball Z. Yeah, it's nothing fresh,
I
but it's IP.
think Fab has so much potential for a competitive card game, and it needs to we need to know the dates of the tournament
Yeah,
that we're trying to
qualify
get it
for.
qualify for. It's kind of ridiculous. Like I do think that they need to be better. I do recognize there's a few things that people like casual players might not know, which is like the marketing guy left recently and has been replaced. So that in any organization that is going to mean handover and delays
Chris
and things
Bewley,
like
for
that.
reference.
Was he
Understandable. The
marketing?
new Yeah, it's like I think essentially that's their marketing guy. The new guy's really good, and Chris Bewley was really good. In any organization, when you have a big changeover, especially a small one, you're going to have an impact. That's fine.
Right.
And they've
That's
had
why
some OP
I
staff
don't think
change as well
LSS is
recently.
I'm sure they want to be better too, but it's not good enough, honestly.
No, and I agree. I think unfortunately, like Trip said, like, well, I think Fab's biggest point is its OP, right? Like
Yeah.
every game can have a fantastic game model. Like the way the game works is awesome. And there's so many other games out there that have an amazing, rule set to it and art and
Yeah.
everything, but it just lacks. But sometimes they don't survive because of how things work. Now this game survives very well because last year and the year before their organized play was just top notch, and
Solid.
they pushed it, and they pushed it hard last year to get all these Magic players from all these other games to go, look, we are a serious contender in organized play space, and that is what's kind of made this game as good as it is. With all its fuck ups, anything, but you can guarantee that when you go to an organized play event, it's really good. It's really good. But one of the biggest criticisms of last year was we just don't get the events in time.
Yeah.
And I felt like they heard
It
us.
left it too late, didn't they?
But now this year, it seems like, man, I don't know how you've managed to. It feels like this is worse than what it was before in terms of giving us time and announcement. Why does it feel? It feels it. It's
I'm not sure
fact.
it feels it.
It feels it. I don't know
because
the facts
everyone
of
was
what's going
waiting for
on.
Pro Tour 1 in New Jersey on bated breath, and they left that announcement fairly late as well. But I think I remember booking May in the middle of February.
Yeah. It feels rougher. It feels like it's lag. And I don't think it's intentional. I give them that, but it just doesn't feel that good.
Okay,
Yeah,
here's an
it's a
abstract question
disrespect.
for you. Do you think the game survives without PvE?
Yes. No, it will, but it won't grow.
Okay. Right.
And in that vein, I would argue that that probably means that it doesn't survive because
No, you can
capitalism
what's
is
survive?
a thing.
Survive is what I've seen. There's plenty of games that are still played in my club that is in quote unquote dead, right? Like there's games called War Machine. They don't sell the stuff in the UK that much anymore. The game was huge.
That's
And now
not
it's not, but
surviving. So
that's not.
do you think LSS continues to sell the game, print the game, grow the game if they don't bring out PvE this year?
They'll just lose their.
No. Don't agree with that at all. I think it does need PvE at some point, and to continue the momentum of the game.
Yeah.
I think you can definitely continue to ride the momentum into
Okay.
2023 for sure with no PvE. I think that's
Mm.
absolutely
Yeah,
fine.
the
I think
OP
we'll
has
keep
to be
going.
strong.
But PvE is an opportunity for them to not relaunch the game, but have a big thing to bring in a lot of new players.
Okay.
It's a second
And
stage.
they will need yeah, exactly, Hamish. It's like a second stage. And they will need that at some point. There's limited opportunities for them to do that going forward, big opportunities to bring new players in. I mean, I know they've said that there'll never be an online version of Fab, but that would be another thing that would bring people in, would be like an
Yeah.
official version of Talishar. But that would be like 10 years in the future.
Yeah,
Um,
but their main, yeah, they've got one stage and it's open, and it's the game and it's organized play, which is the main stage. And the main stage, it's fun. We know it will work. Just need the
Yeah.
lineup. Just need to know a little bit more. And I think James White's post was like, cool. We've got some more flesh behind what your theory is.
Flashy.
Okay.
Yeah, we've got more theory of what they want to do.
We've got a lot. You're saying we've got some fleshy, but we need more bloody. Is
It's
that
more
what you're saying?
vision. It's like, here's my
Mm,
vision. Here's this year's vision. I love
Hamish loves a vision.
no, but we love the vision. No, we all like, yeah, cool vision, bro.
I hate
But what about
visions.
this year? What about
I
this
like
quarter?
I like practical end products.
All
That's
right.
what I love. That's why
That's
me and
why we all
Hamish
work
work
together
so
so
well
well.
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think everyone doesn't disagree that his post was not non. It was informative, but it just really wasn't. He didn't really ask. He asked a question no one fucking asked.
If I was to be honest with you, the one thing I would prioritize, if I was James White, many people say that we are the same person, but if I was James White, the one thing I would prioritize getting some funding for, getting some investment in, would be a US office for Legend Story Studios.
Oh yeah,
Because I genuinely think that when they have a office space in that time zone, they will be able to react and respond to so
Interesting.
much of the activity that is happening around Fab so much quicker. And if they set that as their OP base, let's face it, America is the OP base for
Yeah.
Flesh and Blood, irrespective of where the game is from New Zealand. The time zone that New Zealand is incredibly awkward for that kind of thing. If they can set up some kind of
Yeah.
office base in anywhere in America, get a few of the dedicated American people involved on the OP program, and have all of that activity happening within the US, I think they'll be able to work so much more nimbly and quickly with Channel Fireball, with the other guys. What are they called?
I, thi-
Star.
I can
The
get.
games
I can guarantee that
Passive
they would.
games.
I
would
can
help a lot.
feel and guarantee that that is almost definitely something that they have got in their what they're going to
Yeah,
do. And I
could be a
think
priority.
I know. I think it's one of the. I think it's a massive priority that they've got. But I think
I'll
it's
take my consultancy check in the mail. Thank you, James.
is from Warhammer seeing the Warhammer Champions and being in a lucky spot to see speaking to their dev team and their marketing team and actually just on a one-to-one basis, they've tried to get an OP like office or something going on in America, and it's ridiculously difficult.
Yeah, it's hard. That's why I think they need to
I don't think
think
it's
about
money.
it.
I don't think it's even money. I don't think money's the
Well,
problem.
People you
it's
trust.
tax and laws and all sorts of stuff,
I
and
think
moving
Yeah.
money
it's just
across
time,
borders. But yeah,
and I think they're going right.
I think they have time though. Like I
Do
know
you
they
think they
don't
got
have.
time?
I think that they could. So this is getting into like serious like analysis of Legend Story Studios as a company. But
From
see,
how
the other
this is how
thing,
you
serious.
feel it works.
the other thing that LSS have done, which is really good for a fledgling company, is that they've made James White the chief spokesperson and figurehead of this
Yeah.
company, which
Yeah.
is
No,
fantastic.
yeah.
What that also does is that takes up all of James's time
Yeah.
to do that. And we need James to also have time um to provide
Give an
strategic
idea.
direction
Yeah.
direction for the company.
Exactly.
We have
I
this
think
issue
he
at
does,
the
but it just doesn't
organization that
stop
I work
working.
for, where we've had a major we've tried to shift the spokesperson responsibilities of our director onto other individuals within the company, so that frees up time for the director to direct the company, right?
Yeah.
Like a real issue for small companies, because it's so good that James is at every single pro tour and he's there shaking people's hands, and that is so vital for the success of Fab in comparison to other bigger games where you never get to meet the people behind
But
the
it also
curtain.
takes a huge amount of energy from him.
We've all seen James at those tournaments. He's exhausted.
Oh,
Like it
he
must be,
well,
and
like
he's a
like
saint. Don't get me wrong, but we want him. He's clearly a genius when it comes to designing and creating a trading card game and running a trading card company. The success he's had with Fab is incredible. Like a completely new card game, not based on any existing IP that is being talked about in the same breath as Pokemon and Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh and all of that. We need him to be doing the stuff that he is great at, and that freeing up some of his time to do that would be incredible.
I want him to. I feel like he's on dumbass work mode.
Yeah.
He's on dumbass work mode. I think, and it's not gives a shit what I think. James is like, I probably got it all covered and cool. But
well, we got a podcast. We got to say some shit.
No, I just think I hope he has enough downtime. I hope he can chill, man. And he probably doesn't. He doesn't.
That for everyone, but...
Yeah, him and his. I gave his kid a fist bump, which was an odd thing to say, but I saw, and I just thought, man, I've seen a lot of LGSs and a lot of people. They bust guts and hours, dumb hours, 78 hours, like fucking week, and I'm just like, yeah, bro. Like, I love the fact that you come to like the Pro Tours and the Worlds, and it's work. You come in and you're basically going, right, I'm just going to sleep on the plane there. I'm going to get there. I'm not going to sleep. I'm just going to work 3 days solid. And then I saw him leave when he said, here's your check, left. I went back to meet up with Mark for a drink, and Mark wanted to meet up with Carol and Karen to meet up for some drinks. So Carol, and he obviously goes back to the hotel that James is also staying at, and there's James standing outside the front. So I've managed to say, hi James again, just before we left, and he's like, yeah, man, I'm jumping back to my plane now. I was like, dude, is he clocking out? And he's like, the second I get on that flight, I'm clocking out. Like, Jesus, he's just been at work. He's been at work for like 3 days. Bam, bam, bam. He's going to go back, have a day off, and then go right back to work.
And this isn't like East Coast to West Coast, right? This is
New Zealand.
12 hours time difference. Like, it's insane. Like,
it's a day's time difference.
You say that he's gonna come back and take a day. Like, he's gonna lose a day, right? Like,
I know.
I don't know which way
the
it is.
line.
And I hope
he flew from San Francisco back to
he probably isn't listening to
right?
us, but dude, I hope you get enough family time. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, right. And I do think that he's got so much to give.
Simon's like, can we move away now? I want to talk about something
else.
No.
I asked the question. I think it's been a valuable discussion.
What do you think, Simon?
I think they need to bring out PvE by August, September this year.
Do you?
Okay,
that's a bit
because I think there are a lot of players out there that don't know where they fit in the game. They love the mechanics of the game. They love going to their local armories. They've maybe tried a skirmish or they've tried a ProQuest and they've done okay. But what they really want to do is play with the lore of the game, play in on the kitchen, 4 or 5 friends round. Yeah. Like I'm funny again.
Yeah, you did, but we still had you just saying that they should. Okay. We need something to play on the kitchen table, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they want to do it right. You want to get the game right.
They do want to do it. I get that. I just think we need more of a tease, maybe. Anyway.
Yeah.
I think Hamish had a great question from a Patreon that we were going to talk about.
Not that we talk about it. No, well, we might have to talk about it next episode.
No, this is going great.
We've got 10 minutes left. Let's go.
I'm enjoying this.
Okay, we've
missed this. Come on,
conversations.
Indulge us.
Okay, I've got 2 questions. Then I've got 2 questions. One was the last minute question from Twitter that came from Will Bradshaw. Oh no!
While he's thinking about that, can I just say thank you to Mark Armitage, one of our Patreons, for sending us Looming Doom Extended Art Siege.
Genuinely,
what an absolute hero!
I don't have the words to describe how happy.
That was too kind. The dude, and he was the guy that threw the question out. So you're gonna have to.
I have it over there on the.
Have you got? Oh no, it's a cool shelf.
One
of you guys can drag the question out in Patron's question.
I don't know. Is it in Patron's question?
It is in Patron's question.
Oh, that's why I couldn't find it. Let me have a sip.
It's literally there. It's the big long spiel about a player.
If you're not a patron, we have a specific Discord and a way for us to.
Is this the one from Boxing Day?
Yeah, this one I was talking about one of the players that wanted to progress from how do I progress my collection.
Okay.
And is there
so the question is,
So
Mark,
so to sum it up, oh,
yeah.
are you doing a shout
No,
out?
you do it. You do
Sorry.
it. You do
Yeah,
it.
Trip, you
Let's
do
do the
it.
question. We can do
Simon's
shout out to
internet
the
will
end
fuck
because I've
up.
got a shout out as well.
Get the
So the
question. I'm
question
getting a beer.
is summed up. What advice would you give? Oh, okay. We need to. So the question is essentially is like about cards that you need to be competitive. So the obvious generic legendaries like Final Spring Tunic, Crown of Providence, go into a lot of decks, E Strike, Art of War, Command and Conquer, etc. Um, while the money cards in Fab offer incremental value, there are usually cheaper alternatives, but they're not quite as good. And advantage in Fab, like small advantages in Fab, is very useful
Yeah.
because we often end on single digit life total, so it actually has a big impact. And the question is essentially like, what advice would you give to someone who's trying to make the step up from casual to more competitive? Someone who's worried about their speed of progression, maybe someone that doesn't have access to those cards. Like, what can they do to help build to move from a more casual playing environment to a more competitive environment without feeling like they're just going to get ruined by not having
Yeah.
access to the best cards? Like maybe the answer could be actually you do need to get those cards. We shouldn't say that's off the table. I'm not
Yeah.
sure I necessarily agree, but that's that could be an option. Or is there other things that you could do to make yourself more competitive at the game?
What do you want? I think, yeah, I think it's a fundamental.
Typically, what they want is to become more competitive, to play. So perhaps at the moment they're playing in armories and they want to go to a skirmish and feel like they can compete at a skirmish.
Sure.
Let's use
So
that as an example so
let's
we have something
let,
All
tangible.
right, Simon, you take
let's
it.
start with the premise actually that the most competitive decks are built with expensive cards. You can't get
Mhm.
around the fact that the tunic and the Crown of Providence and the equipment often costs a lot of money. The majestics within the deck are becoming less expensive as we go on.
I think this
So
is a question you could throw to any game. So if anyone's
yeah,
listening that's not
I
into
think
Fab, you
so.
could probably take this away
Um,
with most e games.
I, with that being said, the decks that are built around those equipment pieces and those star majestics are built to work in a certain way.
Deliberate.
You can't. It's deliberate. You can't substitute random cards for expensive cards and expect the deck to work in the same way because they don't have the same function.
Mm.
So I feel if you're going to be competitive on a budget, you need to pick the cards that you want to remove from your deck, whether it be Tunic or Crown or Art of War or Command and Conquer. You need to pick which cards you're going to get rid of. What can you afford? How much are you going to spend on the deck? And then you need to build a deck that works around the cards that you're going to put in their place.
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be a bit
So
more creative.
you've got to be creative. And now what you're going to save in money, you're probably going to invest in time and effort in learning the rule set, in understanding interactions of all the cards, and in coming up with a creative way to do something different. Now, what we saw when Commoner was announced as a format of the game, well, firstly we saw everyone chuck ball lightning back into Briar and go crazy,
And they got banned.
but then it got banned again. But then people go back to the drawing board and go, look at all these common cards. We have so many common cards that often get dismissed when a set is released because they don't look perfect, they're not a majestic, they're not a rare. But then people go back to the drawing board and go, how do these interactions actually work? Can I use rifting for some clever interaction with a non-attack action card? Can I like a budget creepers? Can I use Cadaverous Contraband in a real deck to get recycling cards back through the deck? You know,
Mm.
so you go back. I mean, remember Trip when Push the Point was put into Ira?
Yeah.
It became basically a 1 for 7, and you just think, well, that's a pretty good card for a common.
Or like
Yeah.
Wounded Bull for Icelander. Like
Wounded Bull for
someone,
Icelander,
someone
yeah.
just comes up with something that just goes, oh, yeah, can't you? But yeah, I agree
I
with
think
you, Simon.
I think so. There's a couple of things to what Simon's saying that I just wanted to add on. One of the best things you can do if you can't afford the most expensive cards in the game, and we have this a lot in London. We have a lot of students in London who play the game, who might not have as much money to afford the most expensive cards, which is perfectly normal. But one thing is to go to your local armory, is to befriend the people at your local armory. Like, I know that's like try and build relationships with the people you play with on a regular basis.
Mm.
Um, they're not gonna play every single card they own at the next major tournament, right? Like,
Yeah.
ask if you can borrow the cards. Like, if someone came up to me and if I was playing like I don't play I didn't used to play Tunic in my Fi deck, for example. Like, if someone came up to me and was like, "Can I borrow your Tunic for a tournament?" I'd be like, "Yeah, of course you can." Like, ask if you can borrow the cards for the more serious tournament. Like, if you've got a skirmish coming up and you know that your friend is playing, like, I don't know, Bravo, and you could be like, "Hey, can I borrow your Tunic or your, like, Flamescale Furnace that I know you have in your Fi deck," or, like, whatever. Like, just ask. Like, the Mask of Pouncing Lynx that you know they're not gonna be playing, like, just ask if you can borrow the cards, because most people will say yes for a tournament. Like, why not?
Can I
They're not
just give an
using them.
extreme example of this?
Yeah.
Um, so there's a relatively new player towards the middle end of 2022 from the UK called Jacob Clemens,
Mm.
and
Yeah, Jacob.
Yeah.
um, I think most of us have come up against him in tournaments or heard about him in tournaments, and he's such a nice guy. I think he's a student at Oxbridge, and he knows George Roger,
Mm.
or he got to know
Yeah.
George Rogers. He ended up going to Worlds in November, taking time off of university to go to
Yeah,
Worlds.
you know, he got kicked off. No, maybe I shouldn't say that on the podcast.
Got kicked off?
No,
No,
he
no, no,
nearly
no.
did.
That was probably said to me in
He got a
Oh,
certain line of
it was
questioning, I
probably
believe.
said to me in confidence, not in
Um,
no, no, I'm
podcast.
However, he
Don't tell him.
borrowed both. He borrowed both the decks that he played at Worlds.
Yeah,
He
but we
doesn't
know what
own a
you.
huge collection of cards. He borrowed both decks off people who do have the cards, and he came top 25 in Worlds.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
mad.
have you ever seen Matt Folks tweet before a major
Yeah.
tournament, like who's got a
Need some
bloody
cards.
red whatchamacallit, or like a like they and like him and like they'll often go to a tournament without a deck and they'll just borrow one from a mate or something. Or they used to. And like Jamie Faulkner,
Oh
a
god, that
friend of
guy owns
ours,
nothing.
he owns none of the cards. He just borrows them
Yeah,
because, like, why not?
I
Like,
know, and
if you build relationships within the game, you win because, hey, guess what? Having friends is pretty good. I know it's hard if you're not good at talking to people, but you can get there. And two, you get all their cards for free, basically. So
I know.
just just
Mikey
Don't be
did
just
what
like
he
go
us
to
said.
the
mugs and buy
armories,
all
like
the
try and
cards.
chat with people, try and be a nice person. It can be tricky, like if you're
Yeah.
socially, if you've got
If you're more
social anxiety, it
introverted,
can
which
be
is fine.
difficult. Like, but I've done it, and I was barely able to talk to anyone. It took me a while, but then I got all the cards. So become friends with me.
I'll
I'll
borrow your cards.
understand, and I'll give
As
you
long
all
as
the
they're not
cards,
ninja
please.
cards.
I've got all
My
of them, mate. I'm
my
addicted to
my
this.
my small point with this is that I think that it all depends on what you want from the game effectively. If you're starting out and you want to progress on to be really competitive, and you're looking at all the deck lists that are going out on Worlds and all the other YouTubers or whatever that are posting at these deck lists and saying this is the new hot deck, this one Worlds, and you think, oh man, I've got to own all these cards. If you feel that owning all the cards is going to progress your level and you feel like you've got some more flexibility to it, then well, it's kind of like everything. If you're really into it, money's not a problem. You know, because
You
buy
prioritize.
you buy stuff you like
Yeah.
effectively. We all buy shit we like. We buy McDonald's because we want one, but fuck me, you shouldn't really buy McDonald's or anything like that. It's not good. And every time, you know, but you do it. You know, you go out drinking and you just blown
It's a
60 quid.
priority.
Did you have a good
Yeah.
time? Yeah, I did. It was awesome. You know, but at the end of the day, if you want to throw out some money to buy that Command and Conquer or something like that, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think you can get away with not spending money to get what you want, if that makes sense. If I want to get a 40k army, I can't get a 40k army. If someone goes, oh, how do I get the top of the range 40k army, but I don't have any money, like, Sorry to break it to you, bro.
Well, like Trip said, you borrow it
Well,
or you
no,
don't play.
no, I know you
or
could, you could.
Well, no,
But
no,
I
I think you're being a
think
bit
no,
unfair,
but that's
Hamish. Like
that's one way of looking at it. One
there
way of
are
saying you
people
can.
out there that like, physically can't. They want to play the cards, but they can't physically afford to drop 500 to £1,000 on a deck.
No, and I don't think you need. I think most of the time you don't need to, and I think you just got to sometimes weigh up and go. There is a point where, do I need to get these 3 Command and Conquers? Do I need a
Yeah.
tunic? And I think there's times where you can actually just sort of budget plan a little bit about a pathway about what you think is a priority to get. And sometimes you want to look at decks that have the least amount of impact if I don't own X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
You've got to really first off find for me, I think it's about finding the deck or the hero or the thing that you really enjoy playing the most, because you can't really keep up with playing the best deck. Not even we can, and we love buying all the cards. I can't if Viserai, Bolton, Reinhardt, or Icelander suddenly become very bad.
But then that's not.
I have to spend money to if I need to, or I just play
you
them.
have to be creative enough to play them in a good way, right?
I think I'll just play. You just got to play what you like.
There's also a non-financial element to this, because you're right. I think 3 of us have pretty much all the cards between us. Like
I've got all the staples that I need.
All the staples, right?
If we needed to get a card, we at least know a person who would lend it.
But if when Crown of Providence came up, we all knew we got to get it.
But my last point is actually
in a pack.
Building on what you've said, Hamish,
or you can be lucky. But if you didn't
play the hero that you identify with and get reps in on that hero.
Yeah.
Not only does it take a financial input, but it also takes a time and effort input. Because so Trip and I play Ninja. We both play a bit of Runeblade. Hamish, you and I play Runeblade, Viserai, or like across the board, pretty much.
Yeah.
Hamish, you play Icelander.
Well, no,
you've played a bit of Guardian, right?
Oh, so Viserai and Bolton were like my the ones that I'm like, oh god, I want to get it, and I don't. It doesn't feel like I'm spending money that I don't. It's like,
but what I'm saying is, we've all put in the effort to play certain heroes. If we wanted to branch out into a different, like if Trip and I wanted to play Icelander, we'd have to probably
you got to start from scratch.
Start from scratch, and that's a lot of time and effort. Not only have we got to get the cards, which
we
may have already, but you have to learn how to play the hero. So to get competitive, there's both a financial and a time and effort element.
Yeah,
there's another thing I'd add, which is that the other thing you could do is to just play an off-meta hero,
or just play Fi, because he seems pretty cheap.
But the thing is, like, if like, it's a really good example that Simon brought up, the wizard boots. Like, if you bought the wizard boots were like 30 quid for a bit, right?
Yeah.
Like now they're over like they're probably 100.
I know, I brought it when
now
they're
100. They're 150 again now, I think.
Like
they were down.
Again?
You can be sensible. Like, think.
Well, now they've been unbanned
again.
again.
Coming out, it's the pit set, right? Why do you think the price of Crossbone Skull Wrap is going up so high? Because they're probably going to.
Has it gone up again?
It's gone up again.
And do another Ranger. That card,
Where
I
is it
genuinely think you could have picked that card up for 15 quid at one point, maybe even less.
Wow.
And
I don't know. It's Arcane Rising now. It's actually getting quite hard to find.
That's the thing. Like it's tricky. If you stay in the game for a long time, you will accumulate cards. You will accumulate legendaries by winning packs from armories. If your armory gives you packs, eventually you will open a good card. You can try and trade that for a card that you want.
Plus, as well, I think you're right about new sets. New sets coming out. Also, like since Uprising came out, I think the card prices of these haven't been too obscene.
Yeah, Skullbone
prices have gone down.
Rainbow Foils only €45 still. Yeah. I mean, it's an improvement from €20, but
well, no.
If you look at a card,
I can imagine the new set will have 4 new heroes in it. And when I picked up Bolton from Monarch, I felt like I didn't really need too much out from outside of the set. I could just collect that set, get that hero down. Kind of good to go, really. And then it gets like, oh, okay, well, what's my?
We may be getting too hung up on because I think the question is much more about these staples, right? These generic cards like Tunic, Crown of Providence, Art of War, Command and Conquer, E-Strike.
Yeah,
They're
in short, be
expensive.
creative or buy it.
They were expensive a year ago. They're probably gonna be expensive. I think some of them might drop off. E-Strike, for example, might drop off in a year's time, but they're probably gonna be expensive for a bit of time. And I think with those key cards, if that card is a key card to your deck, my first recommendation would 100% see if you can borrow it from someone. If
Yeah.
you can't do that, maybe consider putting some money away every month. Like Tunic's 150
Yeah.
quid or something. If you can afford to put like 20 quid away a month, just start saving. If the game matters to you, just start putting some money away in a savings account and get it when you can. Try and do a part trade, like try and trade a card and some cash. Do what you can to get it for as cheap as possible.
Well, luckily,
If
there's
that's too
no.
much money for you, there's no easy answer. It's you got to play a deck that doesn't have Tunic in,
Especially
or
now because money is
consider
getting
something else.
tight for
Yeah,
like
luckily, there's not too many mad events.
Yeah,
It's
you got
you just
time
it's calmed it down a
we're in
bit.
a
to
good
save up
time
a
to
bit.
just
But
chill,
like Trip
enjoy
says,
it.
like go to events, go to your weekly armory,
Build
get
friendships,
your
build
get your
relationships with
prize
people.
packs, build friendships. I got a surgical extraction from my prize pack the other week. I was super happy.
Yeah.
Lucky you.
You never know what you'll
I
open from a
needed that as
prize
well.
pack. You might open a
Yeah.
crown, you might open a
I'll end
tunic, and
this.
then
Well,
you're done.
I hope that answers the question. I'll end this on one last random one I put on
Do it.
Twitter. Pineapple on pizza, good or bad?
I genuinely love pineapple and
I'm
pizza,
gonna say pineapple anywhere is good.
and I'm not ashamed.
I love pineapple.
I think you boys are fucking mental. Shit. Anyway.
That's why we love you, dude.
Yeah, that's why we need you.
Bring some sensibility back.
Pineapples
What a great. This has been so much fun.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like just chatting shit and having opinions about this game that we love is just so much fun to do. So it's been a pleasure, guys.
So I just want to say,
should we try and cast this year?
We shall
yes,
try
we
our
definitely
best.
shall.
Yeah. We're not going to make
I
that.
just
We're
wanna
not going to.
say,
We're going to do terrible in Road to Nationals, and we'll just cast it.
I am looking forward to seeing everyone at the Battle Harden in Leeds. I'm hearing the numbers are looking very positive for attendees. I am really looking forward to being there just for the Saturday. So come and say hello if you see me. I need to go and say hello to a couple of people and then get some cards picked up. And Hamish, I'm really looking forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time.
Yes, I know. I won't be at the Battle Harden. It's Logan's birthday, so exactly on that day. So during the ProQuest season, I'll see if you're going to Underworld Games. Me and Simon will say hello. And if you're going to Manascrew, I hope you do.
Wait, when's Manascrew?
Week after.
Oh, I'm busy.
Yeah, and I should be at Dyson Destiny and Rule Zero. So if you're at either of those, I will see you guys.
You're only going to you're only going to one, Simon.
I'm going to the Battle Harden and the ProQuest. Yeah.
All right. Okay. So
yeah,
one
please
ProQuest.
do come up to us and say hi. Like it's always great to see you guys. I'm not going to as many as I thought I would. So if I don't get to see you at Leeds like I was planning, it would be great to see people at Dice or Rule Zero. But we'll be going to a few tournaments and come up to us, have a chat, let us know what you want to see from the podcast, and yeah, good luck in your games in 2023.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
I hope everyone
see you
opens a
soon.
tunic.
Yeah.
Right.
Bye bye.
Later. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.